If you were expecting a flashy or quirky intro for this one, the monkey isn't worth it. This is the easiest boss to deal with on the island, and is arguably the easiest boss across the entire game of Ark. Let me know who you think is the easiest to deal with. I can at least say, the monkey is somewhere in the top 3 of easiest bosses in Ark. The method is simple: get a bunch of Rexes that can hold their own and one UT. When you spawn in, whistle the Rexes to go into the far corner by the start point. You're going to lure the big dumb ape to the start and just unleash the horde on the monkey. That's pretty much it, aside from buffing the Rexes with the UT. I wish I could say that there's more to it, but really there isn't. Only thing to watch out for here is that pit that instantly kills you and your tames if you fall into it by the start point. This is why you just stay at the start point and fight there, rather than worry about getting everyone to the Tibetan ruins area. So this fight starts off at 18 minutes and 40 seconds. Just watch how long this lasts. I would recommend fighting the monkey as a way to farm element more so on the island, but unfortunately, getting a hold of Spinosaur sales is a bitch and a half and not really worth the effort. If it weren't for that, I'd say you could easily farm element from this one. The ape summons in Bigfoot and tiny monkeys to try and help it. Unfortunately for it, they're all pretty weak even for an alpha boss. They all die as they hit the ground. My Rexes have no chill it seems. People don't know how to shut up when I'm recording a boss fight sometimes. A little annoying. But what you gonna do? I really doubt I even need the UT for this. I just bring it to help move things along faster. I get sensory deprivation when fighting this thing each and every time. God's reject here never fills me with any sense of fear, dread, anxiousness or even a thrill. I only do this just so I can get what I need to complete the island and move on with my life. If this big dumb ape didn't suck so bad, I'd say he'd be totally forgettable. So, congratulations Poop Flinger, you're remembered for being bad. At least that's something. And there you have it. Dead at 16 minutes and 58 seconds, for a total fight time of 1 minute and 42 seconds. Such a fearsome alpha boss. I last longer in the sack with my wife than I do giving this King Kong knockoff my attention.
Welcome, prepared for battle.
So, no, I'm not just going to make a simple cut and dry video like that. This giant waste of space wants me to prove just how pathetic he is, so I'm going to spank him with 10 different creatures. Let's see how long each fight takes me to take the dumbass down. This fight starts at 18 minutes and 29 seconds. I'll also fast forward each fight, getting to the good parts, so that way we don't have over 5 hours of raw footage of me taking on this loser. I don't think anyone has the attention span to go that long. But hey, you could prove me wrong. Each fight will use the Rex method I spoke of at the beginning of this video, so 19 of whatever I put out into UD. Nothing more, nothing less. Not much to say here for the Spinosaur. It works in much the same as the Rex, though I think it attacks faster since the AI likes to put it in two-leg mode when fighting. Attacks may be slightly weaker, but they come out more often. Definitely a strong contender for bosses in my opinion. All you Spinosaur enthusiasts out there rejoice. Y'all have a strong dino that I can say does hold its own. The big boy dies at 15 minutes and 1 second. Total fight time was 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Pretty respectable. I tip my hat to you Spinosaur for getting the job done well enough.
Well, I got the picture.
Now let's see how one of my new top favorites will hold up. The fight starts at 18 minutes and 52 seconds. Someone start playing the Thundercats theme song, I feel it's appropriate here. I was thoroughly impressed with the Shadowmane after it dropped. I admit, at first, I didn't really care for it when it was shown. Sure it looked cool, but I felt that, much like most map-specific creatures, it was a gimmick animal and would only serve to have little use. I was more excited for the Mailing and the Strider, thinking they had more use in the long run. But, shortly after getting a hold of one, it soon proved that I was wrong and that the Shadowmane would fast become tied with the Deinonychus as one of my top favorite creatures to use, with a ton of great use to boot. One thing that I noticed in this fight, which would hold true in the others to come, whenever the Yeti is the bigger creature, the big dumb monkey and his lackeys will start focusing on you. You'd think with a large group of sea kitties biting at your junk would warrant more attention, but no. Let's target the Screamo Dino in the back first. Something to take note of, Mungo of the Jungle will do a sort of glitch jump like you just saw over smaller creatures. Be mindful of this since it means he's targeting you outright and will start charging you over the ones he should be fighting. Really the most annoying part of this fight when you actually do pull aggro, are the little shit flinger monkeys that are running around. Their debuff halts your ability to run, and you walk around slowly. This is about the only way Old One Eye would be able to bully you around until it wears off. At the end of the day, the Shadowmanes really do hold their own. They're a great addition to the game and prove to be powerhouses without the need of being overwhelmingly huge like a Rex or Giga. I do hope we get plenty of other great additions like these in the future. And the dumbass dies at 15 minutes and 52 seconds, for a total fight time of 3 minutes. Good kitties, I'll give you all the good canned food tonight for Din. About to make a display of your worthless ass, monkey man. I wonder if I can taxidermy it picking its nose.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
The big bat of Aberration is here to play. Fight time starts at 18 minutes and 59 seconds. I have very little doubts that these abominations to nature are going to have a rough time with the dumbass monkey. Just saying though, wildcard, y'all are definitely just skirting the line with this creature to not getting sued for copyright. I'm not trying to name names of famous series out there, but I think we can all tell what these creatures are modeled after. I was extremely impressed with the Reapers though. Outside of this fight, I really never used them before. I caught a few just for shits and giggles, but I never saw much in the way of needing to have them around. Then again, I never really enjoyed my time playing on Aberration, so when I got to that map, I just tried to clear it as fast as possible. Only now, do I go back and start giving these Aberration creatures a fair look. Much like the Spinosaur match, there's not really much to say here. The Reapers do extremely good work, and they use every attack in their arsenal. I think I may have to reconsider how much I have placed these creatures on the back burner and start using them more often. And the hive consumes the monkey man at 15 minutes and 1 second. Total fight time for the Reapers was 3 minutes and 58 seconds. Well, if you all want to eat him, don't let me stop you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now it's time to give the Monkey Man a bad case of crabs. Fight starts at 18 minutes and 59 seconds. Go giant enemy crab, go. What the hell already? Go fight the crabs, you stupid monkey. I'm just here to watch. Despite the size of these crabs, it looks like the game considers the Yeti as the bigger creature. Going to be doing a lot of running this fight. I don't think the Monkey Man is happy with the crab dinner special I've presented him. Granted, it's still kind of fresh, but I never said I was a good cook. Like I really know how to make crab rangoon. At least he's fighting them for the moment. Son of a bitch already, enough with the damn rocks. You brought this on yourself. I'm not the one sleeping around with $3 hookers from down the block, causing you to have a bad case of crabs. I at least have standards. I use a $200 one named Katarina that works in the red light brothel. Wait. Forget what I said. Great, now I'm being locked down by the little shit-flinger monkeys. This is a good example of how things can go wrong for you if you're not careful. These little bastards will hold you back from running and being able to fully defend yourself, allowing anything and everything to just collapse on you. When you're the main focus of the aggro, this isn't a good thing. Try to do what you can to always distance yourself from the boss, and take out any little monkeys. The worst that the Bigfoots could do to you, is push you around. The only time this becomes a problem, is when you're close to the pit where you can instantly die if you fall in. I will say, as far as Yetis go for bosses, pump up mainly their health, with some points put into stamina and melee. You can never tell just when it will pull aggro, and a Yeti is best when it's buffing allies, not attacking. Suffice to say, it's pretty average at attacking, with a slow bite attack. Not saying Yetis couldn't hold their own, but there's a reason you see them with other creatures all the time. Well, I'm not saying that this can't be done with crabs, I'm just saying why should you do it with crabs? My poor Yeti is almost dead, but I really can't say that this isn't working. Looks like I need to get some distance between us. This is usually a last-ditch effort to get a fight going. Try to get the monkey as far into the side of the start point, and then run as fast as you can towards the entrance of the ruins. If you get away far enough, the monkey will lose focus on you and be forced to fight whatever is around it. The downside is that you can't buff your tames from so far away. Just hope that whatever is fighting out there, is strong enough to stand on its own. I highly doubt the monkey is capable of really fighting anything on its own, but I will only say, I have been surprised before. Hey, now we have an actual fight going. Go you magnificent bastards go. Serve up that monkey with a side of cheddar biscuits. Whoa whoa whoa, just who the hell invited you over to this side of the arena? Piss off you little bastard. Wow, those Bigfoots are bullying the hell out of that crab. Kind of scary how they're getting it this close. Didn't expect those Bigfoots to do so much work for just one crab. Though apparently, the crab doesn't care, and I'll be damned if he isn't just walking over the death pit to get back into the fight. Crab just don't care. And with that, the big dumbass finally falls at 12 minutes and 16 seconds. The crabs gave him an itchy case with a total fight time of 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Not the best thing to use, but they can get the job done.
Well, I got the picture. Check it out now.
Time for Mama Bear and her entourage to lay the smackdown. Fight starts at 19 minutes and 16 seconds. I'm actually thrilled to do this fight. For a long time playing, I was told many times only use Rexes for bosses, nothing else could work with maybe a few slight exceptions. Bears are one of my go-to teams in the game, especially early on. If I can get a hold of a bear, I'm usually a happy survivor. I never thought to risk using a bear before, but since I said I would do 10 fights against Mr. Monkey Man here, I put bears on the list because I was going to figure out how to get a win with them. Honey Bear don't play no games. These glorious beasts are built for battle. Just slap an ascended saddle on them, and they're practically war machines. Well, that takes care of that. Pooh Bear and the rest of his clan win the fight at 16 minutes and 12 seconds. Total time in the fight was 3 minutes and 4 seconds. This just cements my love for the bear in this game. Get one if you haven't already.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
With a mighty roar, the elephants start this brawl at 19 minutes and 23 seconds. This creature is the only herbivore that I have in the top 10. Let's see if the elephant is a great representation of the herbivores that isn't a Therizino. I wish that debuff they do from the roar would work, but sadly it doesn't. Still, I find it kind of awesome that they all do a battle cry before charging at the big ape. Only thing that would make this better would be if someone were on the backs of these mammoths turning out sweet drum solos to energize the herd. I do love these picks that I am using. I know that people think that taking a mammoth into a boss could probably work, but they just default to what they know will work. I'm telling you, if you have something that you truly want to try, then just go for it. These mighty pachyderms are putting in some work right now, and while I may never have tried before, I'm glad I considered them now. Dear Lord, already Mr. Monkey Man, I'm not using Rexes anymore, and yet you're still struggling against me with a bunch of elephants. My elephants don't forget how to win, taking down the gorilla at 14 minutes and 41 seconds. Seriously, dumbass ape, I keep trying to make this easier for you.
Well, I know you got your options, so pick the right thing. Some choices to make a mad ruckus to bring them just hooked on it.
Time to wrestle with some Crocs. The fight starts at 19 minutes and 28 seconds. Time to make Australia proud, boys. Just to preface from here on, if you actually want to try and do this fight with any of the creatures you see me use from here on out, be prepared to be the main focus of the monkey. The Yeti will be the largest creature you bring in, and as I have said before, the bosses of the island target the largest creature first. When fighting any boss, make sure you are well prepared for the fight that you will deal with. I'm batshit crazy sure, but I at least prepare each fight to the best of my ability in order to achieve a victory. It may not look it, but I was both laughing at how the Crocs were actually putting in good work, while simultaneously annoyed with how much aggro I was pulling during this fight. By this point of doing these fights, I really had to get in a mindset of doing hit and run buffing. I try to keep as much distance as I can from the Gill Gorilla, but his boulder throw is always a constant threat. Add to that, whenever he does pull off that glitch chomp, I pray each time I'm not locked down with crap in my face thanks to the little bastard monkeys. Gotta say though, Steve Irwin was right to constantly fear and admire crocodiles. These things were putting in some solid work, and all I did was catch a few sort of high-leveled ones and simple breed up a few for this fight. I didn't bother with mutations or anything. Goes to show, with the right amount of stats and good ascended saddles on the tame, you can pull off a boss run with many different options. The Crocs bring honor to your memory, Steve, rest in peace. And the monkey falls to the death roll of the Crocs. They brought him down at 16 minutes and 21 seconds, for a total fight time of 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Don't sleep on these dangers of Australia.
Prepare to strike. Now.
Now for some real fun. Let's see if these abominations to nature, the Ravagers, can take the monkey down a peg or two. Fight starts at 19 minutes and 17 seconds. I'll admit, I went into this fight not having any expectations but a screw-it mindset. I didn't really ever think much of Ravagers before, but I thought it would be funny to try them out. I've always liked the concept of them, but never really used them ever. Ravagers were just this cool animal that annoyed me on Aberration, were caught for the hell of it, and take up space in one of my cryo-fridges. Making this video, their name was put down as a list of contenders I wanted to try, so let's see how this goes. I will say, being the center of attention for the monkey is not a fun experience. I have no hope of the Ravagers locking him down like the Crocs did just before, despite me being the bigger target. The Ravagers are too small for them to do it properly. On the plus side, they do benefit from their pack and mate buffs, and only one roar from the Uti is all that's needed to give them the full courage buff, so I don't have to constantly stick around to be a cheerleader. I apologize if anyone gets motion sickness from watching me run around in a constant circle. I may have zero respect for this giant waste of space ape, but that doesn't mean I still don't realize that it can kill me if given the opportunity. Alright, let's see if I can get some distance away from this asshole. No, not working. Stop being like my ex-wife, I'm not going to give you any money. Now that I think about it, she threw rocks at me too during her drunk rampages. Digressing aside, I'm getting a bit worried for my Uti. It's hard to get any kind of distance between me and the ape for it to just focus on the Ravagers. I'm not enjoying this one bit. I need to give the Uti a break from the constant running. Other than the little pecking away that the Ravagers are managing to do, I'm still constantly running around. Granted, I wanted to show this video as a straight fight with one creature, with just me buffing with a Uti, but I will say, if you want to do this yourself, use a passive Rex to help draw the aggro away from yourself like what I did in the Dragon video. I highly doubt that a good health boosted Rex with an ascended saddle will die, unless it was pushed into that death pit, but at least it will have served its purpose of keeping you safe while the tames you want to use do the work. It seems a small miracle happened, and the Ravagers finally pinned him for a moment. Now if he could please stop being a giant fuckhead and stop throwing rocks at me, that'd be much appreciated. At this point, I'm amazed that my Uti has held on, especially after both of those rock throws. This Uti is an absolute unit, and just refuses to die. That's my boy. You make Papa Cynical proud. Of course, these stupid Bigfoots just can't let me walk away in peace. Someone go call the SCP Foundation, I have a few instances of 1000 that I need to be taken care of. At the very least, the big bastard is finally fighting the Ravagers 1-on-19. They won't be getting any buffs anytime soon, so I hope they hold their own. Okay, I think I'm safe from everything. Now, let's enjoy the fight. Well, that took long enough. The Ravagers killed the monkey in 11 minutes and 52 seconds. Total fight time, 7 minutes and 25 seconds. I'm not saying that it can't be done, but damn already, there's better options. I'm still impressed that it worked though, so good job Ravagers.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Pick and choose the right one. Get it on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
And now for one of my all-time favorites, and a go-to of mine for bosses in general, the Deinonychus. I think they need no introduction really. Let's just sit back and watch the carnage that they will unleash unfold before our eyes. Fight starts at 19 minutes and 12 seconds. I'm really just doing the courage roar for shits and giggles at this point. The roar doesn't affect the bleed. At best, it'll make them hit a little harder, but the Deinonychus isn't known for its raw power like a Rex. They hit fairly standard, but they cut deep. The bleed is what makes these things so powerful. With so many of them as well, I don't think this bleed will stop anytime soon. 19 Deinonychus is quite the overkill as far as bleed refreshing goes. If you haven't also figured out by now, the UD is pulling all the aggro again. Still, the Deinonychus are able to hold the monkey in place, and they are very aggressive creatures themselves. If anything close by to them is considered a threat or target, which to them is everything, they will take swipes at the Bigfoots and howler monkeys as well, bleeding them out too if given the chance. The bleed is always enjoyable to watch. I know that many of the Ark bosses are made to be nightmares to deal with, so it's always refreshing to watch them get their comeuppance from such a tiny creature. I swear, if he didn't have that rock throw, he'd practically be a free farm of element and no kind of threat at all. I know that I'm using unconventional methods at this point to fight the big ape, but still, that rock toss is a bitch and a half. Alright, enough is enough. Let's get some distance between me and the shit flinger. I wanted to watch closely, but it's turning out to be dangerous for my UD. I think the Deinonychus will be fine though, so let's just get a good seat and watch. Well, put that one in the books. The Deinonychus end this fight at 16 minutes and 6 seconds, for a total fight time of 3 minutes and 6 seconds. I knew that these walking death machines would do well in this, and now I hope to have proven how efficient they can be to all of you as well.
Select the one to fight.
Well, I got the picture.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Pick and choose the right one. Get it on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now we get to one of my favorite parts of this video, me using one of my most beloved tames in the games, the Hyaenodon. I let the dogs out at 18 minutes and 54 seconds. So, did I have high hopes that I could make this work? Yes, I did. Did I go into this fight believing in any capacity that it would actually work? Not at all. In fact, I only did this because I love the good doggos of this game and figured I would give them a chance to take on the alpha gorilla. Many people don't really give the hyenas a second glance in this game, opting for either cooler or stronger options that are readily available throughout different parts of the game. Me however, I always knew how great these little guys were. I will always start any Ark game making them my third tame, just behind a dodo and a parasaur. If you think that these dogs can't take you all the way to the endgame before finally falling off, You're doing yourself a discredit for not using them. The thing that makes these dogs work so well, is their pack buff that they get. Pet them, mate boost them, and give them a courage roar with a group that's all imprinted, and you have a very significant threat that can even take down alpha creatures within the game. Slap a meat pack on them for added defense, and if you've bred up a line with high health and melee, then they will ultimately kill anything and everything in their path. This line of hyenas that you see here was bred from the great-great-great-grandparents of the original hyenas from when I started on this server. The legacy of those now long-retired doggos will continue to live on. Make your ancestors proud, my laughing boys and girls. Once again, the big problem is me and the Yudi. The big dumb ape, and everything else for that matter, is going to outright target me. This fight was one of the hardest to deal with out of all of them in this regard. The hyenas may be able to pile on the damage a lot better than what I was expecting, but they have zero capability of actually locking down a monkey. If there has ever been a time where the Yudi is in full danger, it's this fight. Also, this was the one fight that I did where time became a huge factor. I had to skip ahead a lot because it was nothing but running around and watching the dogs chase the monkey while trying to bite at his heels for a small amount of time. I don't think I really needed to bring the Yudi in, since trying to do any courage roars put it in danger. I think next time, I would use something like a Gallimimus or horse. Just something that is fast, has great stamina and is still bigger than the dogs to keep the aggro on it, but harder to lock down like the Yudi. Still, at the end of it all, the little hyenas overcome the Chinese King Kong knockoff and end the fight at 9 minutes and 25 seconds. It took the doggos 9 minutes and 29 seconds to finish the fight. Goes to show, you can win with anything if you have the ability to do so. My dogs have definitely earned some treats today.
Now, find a new rival.
So, I added in one more fight to this one, because I just thought that this was hilarious. Even I had my doubts of this even working at all, and figured this would be a meme pick that would have maybe taken off around half health. Essentially, this fight is a joke fight, but I end up winning it. Rather than talk about the fight like I have on others, I will discuss what made this video come about and why so much was put into it. To start, I want to say that there were around 25 different creatures that I had lined up to use. Even though I have shown you all fights I did where I win, I still did end up losing a fair amount of times as well. The surprise loss to me was when I used the Hulk form of the Ferox. That's right, I did lose when using a full team of Feroxes. I think I didn't plan the best for that team, so I may try to do another video where I give them a chance to shine. Outside of that, there were many other creatures I chose that I knew were picks that people wouldn't consider to win. Lullabies, Gigantopithecus, and even unicorns were among the list of fails that I went in with. Of course, I wasn't expecting to win with those matches, but I still tried to. Some like the hyenas, I also expected to lose, but ended up winning. The same can be said here for the kangaroos. I didn't intend to win this fight, but tried to do so simply because I believed that it could be done in some way. The true purpose of this video though, was to show that with enough creativity, patience, and capability, you could use many different options beyond what people say you have to use for any given part of content in the game. Sure, Rexes, Spinosaurs, Reapers and Deinonychus are guaranteed wins, and it would take more for you to lose using them than anything. But don't ever be discouraged from trying out things that work best for you. You may fail a few times, but that doesn't mean you won't eventually figure out a way. The reason why everyone tells you to use specific creatures or methods against the bosses is because that's what works more often than not, and the information is there for you to gain your victory rather than the glory of winning in off-meta fashion. As you can see, despite the point where most joke picks would start dying off, the kangaroos are still managing to hold their own. It was incredibly surprising each and every time that I reached past the point of common death and the tame in question was still standing. I get that the giant ape is considered incredibly easy, but that still doesn't mean it isn't capable of actually doing some significant damage or even winning over on fights. I often don't respect it, but that doesn't mean I don't go into each fight not knowing that it could turn the table of a fight if I'm not watching out. Is it normal for the ape to do? Not really, since I usually use something like overloaded Rexes to fight it. That's why fighting it with hyenas and kangaroos was so much fun. The gorilla is actually a challenge again when doing so, and I can't predict a win or not in the end. That's the last point to be made. These fights should be fun. I understand needing to win to get your tech grams unlocked, and by all means do that first. However, after that, Try to honestly fight a boss without its guaranteed victory conditions in play. You'd be surprised how much effort you have to do just to figure out a path to victory. If you reach it though, it makes that win so much more sweeter. Do temper your resolve though when attempting fights like this. There is a fine line of being brave and taking things to their limit of what can be accomplished, and being absolutely batshit crazy and thinking that a team of Jerboas will win eventually. There is at least the concept that any creature I've tried has the ability to somehow work, albeit with some luck. Unless you're running a level 1 million dodo, then I don't think they will actually stand a chance since they're designed to be that weak. Good luck though to all of you crazy assholes that do try to win with an off-meta pick. I will end on this. Whatever you decide to try, build them up like you would a Rex. Points should be placed mainly in health and melee, with ascended saddles or other types of armor being used for them. Give your tames the best shot possible and don't think you can just rush right into any boss fight and blindly win with your freshly caught level 42 Raptor and Carno. The strategy is in the prep work. Just be confident and you'll do fine.
Check it out now. Third strike, yo. Yo, 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 check it out now. Third strike, yo. Yo.
The mark of my dignity shall scar thy DNA.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
This final battle is a 1v1 match between me and the Monkey Man as I use the son of the dragon killer Deinonychus. He has a legacy to live up to, but needless to say, I've a lot of confidence in doing this. Again, the Deinonychus is a boss killer, but works better in packs. A solo Deinonychus method during a boss fight is more of trying to take things to a personal level. At this point, is between you and the boss, nothing else. So with that, this is me taking on the giant ape solo. I hope that you enjoy this fight and you are influenced in some way to dealing with any boss in a manner that you see fit. While this may be fun for me, I do have plenty of experience doing these boss fights like this. Build up your confidence and skills and try these methods, or new ones, out for yourself. Enough talk from me though, enjoy the fight. GG Monkey Man, you put up a good fight. I might not respect you, but that was still fun. I know this isn't the last time we will run into each other, so I'll see you later, my favorite overgrown punching bag.
We await your return, warrior.
Until next time, see you around.